Welcome back, and it's time to get another business update with Owen. Hello again, Owen. So it's the start of another trading week, and Asian markets, they haven't got off to a bad start, have they?
Yeah, managing to hold on to some gains into the afternoon session, Claire, which doesn't happen very often at the moment. The Nikkei up by around 1/3%. The Kospi as well having a good day's trade, up above 1%. Just the Hang Seng showing those residual concerns about the Eurozone. To put all that in context, though, it's worth just having a look. I've picked out one or two world markets just to show their gains over the year to date. And you can see it's a very mixed picture. If you take markets like the FTSE in London, the CAC 40 here in Paris, they're both down for the year to date between 5 and 6%. The Nasdaq's having a better year so far. But globally, world markets have gone into decline over the past few trading sessions because they've had such big losses in this latest quarter.
And investors haven't been given much to go on by world leaders over the weekend.
That's it. The G8 summit was pretty inconclusive. These summits often are, Claire, but what we really got, perhaps the best we got, was Barack Obama perhaps acting as referee between those two camps. The one camp led by President François Hollande, who wants Europe to focus more on growth. The other camp led by Angela Merkel of Germany, who thinks that austerity, spending cuts, getting your financial house in order is the way forward for these countries. They'll get another chance to have a bite at that later on this week. That's when European leaders meet informally in Brussels. Again, expect them to thrash out a little bit more this growth versus austerity debate.
Okay, now one stock to watch closely this week is Facebook. Its market debut was hardly stellar. It finished its first day's trading on the Nasdaq just 0.5% up. And that's drawing comparisons to other supposedly hot tech firms that cooled very quickly once the hype had died down. Nicholas Rushworth has more.
He has plenty to talk about on his Facebook page. Mark Zuckerberg celebrated his 28th birthday last week and changed his status to married as he wed girlfriend Priscilla Chan. And he became the 29th richest person on the planet thanks to his IPO.
Right now, this all seems like a big deal. Going public is an important milestone in our history.
But the hype aside, is Zuckerberg's Facebook liked all that much? The world's most established social network site created a storm of interest, but there's been no surge in the $38 share price. It ended just 23 cents up on its first trading day, which was hit by a technical glitch. Analysts point to another tech company, Groupon, which went public last November. Its stock is currently worth half its initial trading price. For Facebook, the challenge is to show investors it can make the transition to sound corporate governance.
I think the investors should worry about this kind of governance, and I think that founders prove to be great visionaries and poor managers more often than not. The same skills that it takes to see over the horizon and predict a new wave of technology, which is what Facebook has done, are often poor guides to being able to run an established business and maintain the support and confidence of investors.
Zuckerberg is a genius. He's turned his Harvard-dorm venture into a business bigger than Disney or Ford in just 8 years. He's under pressure, however, to cash in on his 900 million users and live up to the hype.
Okay, let's stay with the tech sector as we pick up on one or two more of the day's business headlines for you now. Starting with Yahoo, which is to sell half its 40% stake in Chinese online retailer Alibaba back to the firm. The struggling US search engine will hand back the shares for just over $7 billion. The two companies have spent a year in on-off negotiations over the deal. Alibaba has been trying to regain its independence in order to potentially make a takeover bid for Yahoo.
Australian airline Qantas is cutting another 500 jobs in its latest cost-cutting exercise. The redundancies will fall on heavy maintenance and engineering operations. The airline's first half profits were halved earlier this year as it suffered from a series of strikes while trying to expand in Asia. It's lost a third of its market value over the last 12 months.
And millions of German car and engineering workers are to benefit from the biggest pay rise for 20 years. Unions agreed a rise of 4% for some 3.6 million employees. Workers had rejected a 6% demand, employers had rejected a 6% demand, claiming they wanted to protect Germany's competitive edge over the rest of the Eurozone.
Next, a last-minute scramble in Ukraine. The former Soviet Republic is co-hosting the Euro 2012 football tournament in less than a month. But overhauling the country's infrastructure has been a huge challenge, and there's growing concern that organisers are cutting it just a little bit fine.
Terminal D at Kiev International Airport. It's brand new and ready to welcome football fans to the Ukrainian capital for Euro 2012. This part of the project may be coming to an end, but outside and across the country, there remains plenty to do, especially in the 4 host cities, Kiev, Lviv, Donetsk and Kharkiv. Meanwhile, for the railways, Ukraine has bought several high-speed trains from South Korea to reduce the journey time to co-host Poland by half. Kiev has spent upwards of 4 billion euros upgrading the country's infrastructure, easily the biggest single overhaul of the network since independence 21 years ago.
We have never seen such a thing before. The problem is everything is being finished with no time to spare, i.e. the testing will be live when all the fans start arriving, and it's then that we will learn how it's going to work.
With no guarantee that the work will be finished on time, it's a gamble, and this has worried European football's governing body UEFA. Ukrainian organisers, meanwhile, say everything will be ready, including a revamp of the country's notoriously terrible road network.
In 4 years, we've built 1,670 kilometres of road, 1,500 in the last 2 years. There are just 300 kilometres to go, and we're counting on finishing the job before the tournament.
So there are lots of unknowns, and time is running out to complete the work as we enter the final straight before kick-off on June the 8th.
And that's it for our look at the day's business news. Thanks very much, Owen. Thank you for watching. Do stay tuned to France 24. Stuart Norval will have all the latest headlines in just a few minutes' time.